Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be baking a lusciously rich chocolate cupcake with a raspberry filling. Oh, just makes me salivate just thinking about it. If you're planning on proposing on Valentine's Day, this is the cake for you, because in the centre of it there is something very, very special. More on that later, but first of all, let's get on with the baking. Okay, let's get on with it. In a bowl here we're going to sift in some flour, just ordinary plain flour. It goes into our bowl. We're going to tip in salt and baking powder. Sift in our chocolate powder, cocoa powder, look at that. Oh, that smells lovely. So thoroughly combined. All of a sudden, honestly, I don't know how I keep making all this mess. I just do it, it's just natural with me. Put that to one side for a second. We're going to work on the wet ingredients now. In here I've got the butter, it's all melted a little bit, so it's nice and soft. I'm just going to give that a good beating like this. You can see that, it looks good. To this I'm going to add our granulated sugar. Just tip that in. Give it a quick mix. So it starts to crumb up. There you go. So that's all dissolving nicely. Now this is going to need mixing for a couple of minutes because you want the granules to really dissolve in that butter. So form a nice sort of wet dry mix really. So I'm going to use the mixer now for this. Just scrape that off there. Don't want to waste any. Here we go. There you go, that's looking good. Now, to this we're going to add our couple of eggs. That goes in the middle. Just sprinkle those in. And we'll add some vanilla extract. About a teaspoon of this, I think. Love the smell of that, it's gorgeous. Let's get rid of those. Just mix them up again. Yeah, so it's a nice pasty looking thing like that. Now we're going to add in our dry ingredients. That goes in the centre. Just tip it all in. There you go. I'm just going to fold this in very quickly. As you can see, it goes in there. Very dry now. Give it a good scrape down the sides. To this I'm going to add our milk. That goes in the middle, make a little well for it, pour that in. Again, give it a good mix in. At this stage, I don't really want to overwork the mixture. So you just want to fold everything in together. And to this, some hot water. Just going to pour that, it's about 110 millilitres rather, of hot water. This should make everything nice and runny and smooth. Again, don't overwork, just get it all combined. There you go, so you've got a nice runny mixture there now. Like that. Do 1 heaped teaspoon per case. Try and get it in the middle. Now, start topping up again now. You want to fill the cases up to about 3/4 of their depth. Yeah, that should do it. Love it. Look at the state of me, look, got it all over the place. Now I'm going to place this in the oven and bake for about 12-15 minutes and see how it goes. Okay, our cakes are baked, they've been left to rest for about 10 minutes or so, so they're a little bit cooler than they were when they first came out of the oven, obviously. Now we're going to make the frosting that goes on top. And this is a lovely rich chocolate frosting that we're going to squeeze onto the top of the cakes. So to start with that, we need some soft butter. That goes into our bowl. And just mix this up a little bit just to keep it loose. And to this, I'm going to add half of our icing sugar. I'm going to sieve it in, only about half this time round. Leave the rest till later. Now this is where you suddenly realise that wearing a dark shirt is not a good idea, because this icing sugar goes everywhere. There we go. Pour in there. Looking good. If you can still see me, I'm just going to mix these up again. We want a nice cream. That's enough. I'll scrape all that together. I don't like the texture of icing sugar and butter. It makes me feel strange. But it looks good. It smells lovely as well. It looks good if you can see me through the cloud of dust that's here. Now, to this, we're going to sieve in our dark cocoa. Again, mix up. Now come the wet ingredients. 2 tablespoons of double cream. Makes it really rich. I've melted some chocolate. This dark chocolate then pours into the mixture. Make sure it all goes in. I've had this melting over a saucepan of hot water. There we go. That is really rich. And I've let it cool down slightly. Ooh, smell that. Fabulous. I'm going to tidy up again. Now mix all these in together. Now I'm going to sieve in the last of our dry ingredients, the icing sugar. And this goes for a second lot of dusting all over the place. Mix all that in. Just going to leave that to rest a little bit. Now for our next step, with the cakes, I'm going to take the centre of each cake out using a knife and fill it with jam, raspberry jam, seedless raspberry jam. So if we take that centre out, then we get our jam and just put a little dollop in, that's all it needs. Something like that size. And just force it down into the centre of the cake. That will give them a nice little change of texture and change of flavour when they bite into it, and then push that back in. And that's all you need to do. We'll do that to all of them now. Now if you're going to propose on Valentine's Day, which you should, there's a little novel way of doing it, but be careful. Cut out the centre of the cake as you have done here, as we've been doing with all the others, and then instead of putting the jam in the middle, wrap up your engagement ring in cling film, make sure it's nice and tight, and pop it into the centre of the cake. And pop the lid back on, frost it, hand it over on the day, and she'll sit there and she'll take the cake and rip it open. Make sure she rips it open. Make sure she doesn't eat it. That's the most important thing. Health and safety and all that. You don't want to choke to death before you get married. So give her the cake. Tell her to open it up, and she crumbles open up. There's a little parcel inside. It's the ring. She unwraps it. She falls in love with you once again, and happy days. Most important though, when you're doing that engagement reveal, don't forget which cake you put the ring in. Now for the frosting. Take our bag. Got a large nozzle on the front there. Fill the bag up. Oh, it's all coming out already. Watch. And again, one in the middle, and then drape it around the edges. One in the middle. Drape it around the edges. Oh, you caught me. That chocolate is really nice. The frosting is so smooth. It's really silky smooth and it's so chocolatey, it's lovely. And the sponge is just perfect. And in the middle, you just get that hint. And that's all you need really, of that raspberry jam. So it's lovely, really is nice. Give it a go, let me know what you think. Put the comments down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll be updated every time a video turns up. You have to be quick though, because these cakes are flying out. I'm sorry about that. Don't forget, if you're going to propose over Valentine's Day, put the ring in the centre of the cake, hand her the cake, and watch her open the cake up with a spoon or a knife, and unwrap the ring. Don't let her eat it. Most important. But enjoy. It really is lovely.